Okay, well, we almost got it right. Clipped off a few seconds of the intro, but I do want to say first, anybody is welcome to be on Boogie with the Bull. Any Boogie with the Bull. If you are coming on for a reason, and there might be people that you don't want on with you, if it's your idea, we'll work with you. But if it's a regular member of Boogie with the Bull, you're just going to have to put up with it. I stopped inviting people a long time ago that gave me the impression that I work for them. And I'll just leave it at that. Good morning, Randy. It's Red Friday. You remember everyone deployed Friday? We take a moment to salute the men and women of the military. We've added the men and women of ICE, the men and women of the National Guard, the men and women of state and local law enforcement, and first responders, because their job is just as important in keeping us safe. So we salute all of you. And if you are the family of someone in one of the above, you are more than welcome to come on and talk about your loved one. And if you are the loved one, you're more than welcome, if your job allows you to, come on and talk about it. You're more than welcome to come on and talk about it. Anyway, Randy, what do you got this morning?
Oh, a couple things. So first off, we always want to give honor and respect to the men and women in the military uniforms. Doesn't matter what the branch, whether it be the Marines, the Coast Guard, Army, the Air Force, the Navy, the Space Force. I kind of draw lines to CIA, but those
Well,
men
that's
and
not
women,
the military. That's
right?
the
Well, it depends because they do some they take you out and do leadership changes, and they get the local citizens riled up so they help our soldiers. But anyways, uh, you know, uh, my dad was in the Air Force 22 years, and he absolutely loved it.
yep.
When he first married my mom, uh, her dad was a farmer. We had a very nice, very large farm, and he was dividing it up between the sons. And when my dad married my mom, her dad offered him several acres of land plus a farmhouse that was already on the property if he would, farm the land. And my dad was just in the Air Force. I think he's only like an airman or senior airman, so he wasn't making a lot of money. And he said no, he was going to stay in the Air Force, which he did for 22 years. And I'll tell you what, say what you want, but as a child of a military person who, they get rotated. The longer they stay in, the more they get rotated around different bases, different countries. And my recollections go back to Mississippi when I was in kindergarten. That's as far back as my mind still works. And we were there right next to the Mississippi River because we would walk down to the river to play and so forth. And believe it or not, we went unescorted. My parents weren't with us. I was kindergarten. I was what, 5, 6, 7 years old. So I'd be, walking down to the edge of the Mississippi River and playing. But then we went from there. We went from there to New Jersey, and my dad was told that that was going to be his final transfer of service. As far as duty assignments, and he bought this absolutely beautiful home. It was a white picket fence. It was the American dream. He bought a brand new car, all new appliances. We settled in, going to school. I fell in love. And next thing you know, 1 year to the date, my dad got transferred to England. So he transferred to England for 3 years. And I'm going to tell you what, that was an eye opener because England was still revealing, was still recovering from World War II, and uh, uh, the folks lived like they were still in poverty. And here we are, the big American, coming to a house my dad was renting out in the suburbs with a brand new, huge American car, and the folks there, they use these little teeny ass, bag operated cars, or they use bicycles. Um, we brought with us our two full size upright refrigerator freezers, and they use this little teeny ass like college size refrigerator to refrigerate their food.
Yep,
What I'm trying to say is that you know. Uh, Being in the military can be a very rewarding aspect. From England after 3 years, my dad got transferred to California, and then my dad said that was it. He was done, and he retired. Right. So he moved back to Lancaster, and with the military program, he bought this huge rancher for next to nothing, and that's where he lived, and that's where he died. But for the Democrats to come out, I want to show you this one video. I did lie. I want to show
no,
you this
no,
one
no.
video.
It,
There's this video going around from the Democrats, and it's addressing the military personnel. Okay, and it is causing quite the uproar in the White House.
it is. It is.
So if you can share that,
I will
okay.
show. Okay. Yeah, that video stinks. As far as I'm concerned, I saw this video.
Okay, so you get the gist. The Democrats are saying to the military personnel that you have the legal right to refuse an illegal order. The problem is what qualifies as an illegal order. Okay, um, when I was in the Air Force for 4 years, and I was in basic training, and as punishment, because we didn't, our lockers weren't military organized, our training sergeant made us go out into our big ass, like 3 acres of land, and he gave each one of us a pair of scissors, and we had to cut the grass. Now, could I say that's a illegal order? That's torture. Oh my God, I got cut all this grass with a pair of scissors, or marching 10 miles with a backpack that weighs like 150 pounds. Could that be because? So
I think it comes down to the operation is the responsibility of the Secretary of War working with the president, whoever they are, as commander in chief. And I don't think there really was a reason for this video from the Democrats other than it allowed them to come on and use their constitutional right that we think you should refuse any order that you're given.
You know, the problem is the Democrats are upset because, for one thing, Trump is using the National Guard to bring law and order back to our city streets. How can that be considered illegal when the local officials are not doing anything to protect the citizens from being raped, from being murdered, from being robbed,
Right?
deluded, and so forth? Trump just wants our streets to be safe. I mean,
Correct.
uh, like I said earlier, when I was in Mississippi, there's nothing to think about walking down to the edge of the Mississippi River. When I was in lived in Mountainville for when my dad was in the Congo War, there's nothing for me to walk down the streets of Mountainville to the local candy store with my red wagon full of Coke bottles because the guy was giving a penny a bottle, and then I'd take that money and I'd buy candy. I mean,
Right.
safe streets. You can't do that today in a lot of cities,
Nope.
and Trump realizes that. And how can he, broadcast to the world that we are a golden country when it's not safe for people to walk the streets? So that's one thing. The other thing that they're saying about what's the use of the military force to take out the narco boats that are bringing in poison
Right.
that's killing 25,000 Americans a day. Now, how can that be
Right.
considered illegal? He is protecting American citizens.
Well, I would think it's not illegal because the narco terrorists have been declared enemies of the state, and we're in a war with them. But like I said in the green room, they will play at what is an order they can follow, and they'll play at what is an order that they should not follow. And to be honest with you, I think right now they need to just stay out of it because it's not their job to deal with it. He's dealing with it. He's dealing with it how he wants it to be dealt with. And he understands that at some point he has to go to Congress and say, hey, I've done this for as long as I can do it. Now it's your turn. And if you don't care, you'll continue to run the boats into the country and you'll continue to kill people. And I'm going to be very vocal about that, meaning him, that you're doing that. So if you're thinking about a Trump endorsement, regardless of whether or not you're Democrat, Independent, or Republican, you're not going to see it if you're against it. And there's a lot of other things that, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and the others on both sides of the aisle who are upset that the Epstein files haven't been made public yet. Why haven't you passed something and made it public? Because if he doesn't sign it, you have the right to override it. And if you override it, then it becomes law.
Well, I thought he already signed that. Yesterday, signed it to have it released. Yeah,
Very well could.
I'm pretty sure. Hey,
Right.
so now it's a matter of getting, a matter of.
Well, I think the House did it on a nuclear option, knowing it'd be a Republican majority voting it through the House. And I don't know, they must have bribed the Democrats to vote one way.
I know that I know some of the Democrats are very upset that it's being released, and from what I've seen so far is Trump is being shown as being innocent of any wrongdoings, and the names of Democrats are starting to come out from that whole mess.
Well, he's being, yes, pilots of planes are saying nothing illegal happened. Madam Maxwell said nothing illegal happened on the island. He says he's never been to the island. So, okay. You can be in the files for never ever doing something illegal, but because of who you are, you got dragged into. You got dragged into it. I mean, everybody had their hands in Epstein's wallet, both Republicans and Democrats. And where I'm sitting now is it's like on both sides, they're mad that this could be made public. Well, why? Did you do something wrong?
Yeah, I think it's more a concern that they're afraid that the name's going to come out of people and
The names are going to come out eventually anyway, because everybody who can has posted the list on Facebook.
yeah.
Or done a broadcast that posted the list on YouTube. So I mean, what are you gonna? You're not telling people things they don't already know, or couldn't have already figured out. And everybody gets their day in court. So yeah, everybody gets a chance to explain why something was reported on them, and if it is true, the one person that's not talking is Prince Andrew. Well, he's not a prince anymore. Andrew is not talking, and
Oh my God.
probably knows a lot of the names. And then you look at the fact that the Clinton and Hillary have refused to testify. By refusing to testify, does that mean they have information?
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I was.
Yeah.
My brain goes a different direction. I was thinking about my bank account, and I was going through looking at it, and I saw this huge charge from Amazon. I'm thinking, what the hell happened? I just remembered I bought Christmas gifts.
Okay. Yeah. Tis the season to make sure that your accounts everywhere are under control. And
anyways, I think another big story that came out that's being talked about today is Russia and Ukraine. That war may be coming to an end. Zelensky, and I don't understand why, because Zelensky just used a missile for the first time, a very powerful American missile that went deep into Russia and did a hell of a lot of damage. But it appears that Zelensky has seen the writing on the wall, and he's starting to say, you know what, let's bring this to an end. So Trump has a 28-point treaty that appears to be what both sides are going to agree to. So if you bear with me, I have them here. I'll just go through some of them.
Okay.
I was now 28 because it gets lengthy. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So that's some of them. I did a quick read of some of these, and it almost sounds like a World War II Germany kind of how they had to end, right?
Yeah.
So here it goes. So Ukraine's army, currently at roughly 880,000 soldiers, must be reduced to 600,000. Okay, so they have to reduce their military.
Why?
It doesn't say why. Some frozen Russian assets will go towards rebuilding Ukraine, while sanctions on Russia. As I read this, it sounds like Russia got the better deal. Okay, so some frozen assets will go towards rebuilding Ukraine, while sanctions on Russia would be lifted, and Moscow and Washington would enter into a series of long-term economic agreements. So yeah, he's giving up some money to help rebuild Ukraine, but he's going to get a shitload from the United States. Ukraine cannot join NATO, okay, but would be eligible to join the European Union.
Oh, he can't stop them from joining the European Union.
So Ukraine's sovereignty will be confirmed. A comprehensive non-aggression agreement will be concluded between Russia, Ukraine, and Europe, all ambiguities of the last 30 years will be considered settled. So what's that saying to me is for the past 30 years, any arguments you had against the two countries goes away. It is expected that Russia will not invade neighboring countries and NATO will not expand further. So that means the boundaries as they stand right now don't get changed. Okay.
Okay.
A dialogue will be held between Russia and NATO, mediated by the United States to resolve all security issues and create conditions for de escalation in order to ensure global security. Boo. So what? Ukraine will receive reliable security guarantees. Well, that's a given. They already have that. The size of the Ukraine army will be limited to 600,000 personnel. See that word there, personnel. That could be a secretary, working in the office.
Okay.
I think it's supposed to mean military soldiers.
But when you lose, the size of your military gets cut or got cut to make sure you couldn't win, or if you had a large military, I don't see it mattering the size of one's army either way, because what Putin wants is stuff that's in Ukraine, but he doesn't want it for Ukraine. He wants it for Putin in Russia. He wants it to be part of Russia. And I personally still do not agree that, hey, we're going to give you your country back. We're going to cut down the size of your military, and we're going to give control of all of your natural resources to Russia. Because God didn't give them to Russia. God gave them to Ukraine. Personnel is boots on the ground, but that's okay since Ukraine is now specializing in drone combat. Thanks to us, there's no
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
drones they connect.
Well,
That's true.
Let's continue to see what it says here about military stuff. Ukraine agrees to enshrine in its constitution that it will not join NATO, and NATO agrees to include in its statute a provision that Ukraine will not be admitted in the future. Okay, I already said that. NATO agrees not to station troops in Ukraine. Wow. European fighter jets will be stationed in Poland. The U.S. will receive compensation for the guarantee. If Ukraine invades Russia, it will lose the guarantee. I'm not sure what that means. If Russia invades Ukraine, in addition to a decisive, coordinated military response, all global sanctions will be reinstated, recognition of the new territory, and all the benefits will still be revoked. I guess so. What's saying is, after we get settled today or whatever happens, if Russia invades Ukraine again, all bets are off the table. Let me go on. If Ukraine launches a missile at Moscow or St. Petersburg without cause, the security guarantee will be deemed invalid. Ukraine is eligible for EU membership. Will not receive short-term purposes. Okay, let's go back. A powerful global review. Number two. Okay, a powerful global package of measures to rebuild Ukraine, including but not limited to the creation of Ukraine Development Fund to invest in fast-growing industries, including technology, data, artificial intelligence. The United States will cooperate with Ukraine to jointly rebuild, develop, modernize, and operate Ukraine's gas infrastructures, including pipelines and storage facilities. In other words, it would help rebuild them. See, it goes on to say joint efforts to rehabilitate war-affected areas for restoration, reconstruction, and modernization of cities. We're going to rebuild those cities. Extraction of minerals and natural resources. The World Bank will develop a special financing package to accelerate these efforts. Russia will be reintegrated into the global economy, meaning they're going to start making money again. Okay. Lifting of sanctions, blah, blah, blah. Frozen funds will be used as follows. 100 BN, where that stands for, and frozen Russian assets will be invested in U.S. led efforts to rebuild and invest in Ukraine. The U.S. will receive 50% of the profits from this venture. Wow. Uh, Frozen European funds will be unfrozen. The remainder of the frozen Russian funds will be invested in a separate U.S. Russian investment vehicle that will implement joint projects. A joint American Russian working group on security risks will be established to promote and establish compliance. Who cares? Um, let's see. Let's get down to the good stuff.
That's
Ukraine. Okay.
weird, though. It seems like the United States will work with Ukraine and the United States will work with Russia. But
Yeah.
the United States gets 50% of what Ukraine does, but they don't get anything of what Russia does. And they seem to think they decide whether or not Ukraine can join the European Union. Ukraine's already, I'm sure, a member of the European Union. They're part of Europe.
Okay. So Ukraine agrees to be a non-nuclear state in accordance with the treaty. So Ukraine will not get any nuclear weapons.
But
Uh,
everybody around them gets nuclear weapons.
the nuclear power plant will be launched under the supervision of the IAEA, and the electricity produced will be distributed equally between Russia and Ukraine, 50-50. Damn. Russia's getting a better deal here.
Yeah, see, this is not. I'm sorry, folks, but this doesn't benefit Ukraine
No.
in really in any way. I mean, we get access to Ukrainian natural resources that we need, and we get to decide who else gets them, and we get 50% of selling that, and Ukraine gets 50% of selling that, but it goes into a fund controlled by the United States. On the Russian side, we get to do everything with Russia, but we make 50% too.
Yeah.
So what did we really do? I mean, we decided that Russia has to go into Ukraine and rebuild parts of Ukraine that were damaged.
Okay, hang on. So both countries undertake to implement educational programs in schools and society aimed at promoting understanding and tolerance of different cultures and eliminating racism and prejudice. Ukraine will adopt EU rules on religious tolerance and the protection of linguistic minorities. Both countries will agree to abolish all discriminatory measures and guarantee the rights of Ukrainian and Russian media and education. All Nazi ideology and activities must be rejected and prohibited.
Hold on. I can't type this morning.
Neither can I. My body is getting worse and worse. Yesterday, I woke up and my left ankle felt like it was broken. It was painful for half the day, walking on especially. Today, my right ankle feels like it's broken. Left ankle feels fine. It's like, holy crap, what's going on with my body?
You're just an old man.
Oh, you did not say that.
Yes, I did.
Okay, here's a big one. Get ready for this.
I could bring someone else in to say it to you, but
Yeah. Keep it to yourself. Territories. This is where Russia gets the big bite of it.
Yeah.
Crimea, Luhansk, and Donetsk will be recognized as Russian territory. Kherson and Zaporizhzhia will be frozen along the line of contact, which will mean de facto recognition along the line of contact. So those two areas will be like off limits. Russia will relinquish other agreed territories and controls outside the 5 regions. Ukrainian forces will withdraw from the part of the Donetsk Oblast territory that they currently control. So Ukraine has to give up that land.
So
this withdrawal zone will be considered a neutral, demilitarized buffer zone internationally recognized as territory belonging to Russia. After,
Well,
so
where's
they're,
where's
they're going to get like, from what I saw on the map, Russia's going to get like half of Ukraine.
yeah, they want the part that they want the good part where the natural resources are to do with as they wish. And I'm sorry, but this sounds like a systematic destructing of Ukraine for the benefit of everybody else. And Zelensky is not a stupid man. People may think he's a stupid man, but he's not a stupid man. He's not going to allow.
Yeah, yes. He's already said that he has no alternative. He has to give it up.
Well,
That,
he has no alternative because if he doesn't sign it, if he doesn't sign it to end the
well,
war, he's not going to win re-election,
uh,
and and or he'll be exiled from the country anyway.
okay.
So
So
that may very well be what happens,
okay.
but
So here, so it
there's
continues.
nothing for Ukraine in this.
Okay, so it continues. Russia will not prevent Ukraine from using the Dnieper River for commercial activity. A humanitarian committee will be established to resolve outstanding issues, such as all remaining prisoners and bodies will be exchanged. All civilian detainees and hostages will be returned, including children. A family reunification program will be implemented. Measures will be taken to alleviate the suffering of the victims. Measures will be taken to alleviate the suffering of the victims of the conflict. Ukraine must hold elections in 100 days. All parties included in this conflict will receive full. Oh wow! All parties involved in this conflict will receive full amnesty for their actions during the war and agree to make any claims or consider any complaints in the future. Wow, that means no war crimes. That means Russia's not blamed for
Well,
invasion. Ukraine's not. Oh wow.
well, no, it just means that Ukraine can't go after Russia for war crime, but at the same time, Russia can't go after Ukraine for war crimes. That's just an equal. But I mean, this where the thing says you can't join NATO, Zelensky, and you can't join the European Union, and you can't be nuclear. This is not peacemaking. This is forcing peace for the benefit of the two big guys involved and not doing anything for. I mean, I don't want to say this, but it sounds like it stinks for Ukraine.
Yeah, it does. It does.
You get treated like you lost, but you didn't lose, but you get treated like you lost by Russia, who knows that you now only have 600,000 boots on the ground in a war that needs more than 600,000 boots on the ground, and you can't use any of your natural resources because they're not yours anymore. We gave them to Russia.
Yeah. Wow.
And anything else you want to claim is now this neutral zone, this demilitarized zone. That just means that you agree not to go after Russia, and Russia agrees not to go after. No, I don't know if Russia agrees not to go after you. You just agree not to go after Russia, and I respect the art of the deal. I respect President Trump, but we're treating Ukraine like they lost this war, and we're going to get out of it what we want out of it, and Russia's going to get what they want out of it, and the scraps are going to be what's left to Ukraine. And the next leader of Ukraine is probably not going to agree to this.
I don't think the next leader of the if Zelensky loses the election, which he probably will,
He will.
because
Well, either that or he won't be allowed to run.
I don't think the next guy or gal is going to have much of a choice. If you want to stop the killing, then you have to agree to the terms.
Like I said, this just seems to be like the U.S. and Russia have teamed up to do whatever they want and make sure Ukraine doesn't do whatever they want. And it gives the good parts of Ukraine that Russia claims to have won to Russia, but it doesn't give the good parts of Russia that Ukraine won to Ukraine.
Yeah. I,
And we agree that all the dead bodies and all the prisoners will be returned. Well, at the end of a war, they're all returned anyway.
yeah, well, no, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, look at what's going on with over in Israel. I mean, they're still trying to find the rest of those damn. They probably won't find the rest of those dead bodies because their bodies are probably ripped up, torn apart, buried in different parts across the land. There, so that's the 28 points. I can see, and this just came out today, and I can see the Democrats having a heyday because it gives Ukraine, everything that it gives Russia everything that they want.
And it gives Ukraine nada. And but then again, I can even see Republicans agreeing with this. Because if you don't agree with this, then you're going to face boots on the ground from Russia and the United States, and I don't see that happening anyway. But in Russia, we're going to free up all this stuff for you, but Ukraine, we're not going to do anything for you.
Yeah.
Let's be honest with each other then. Is this still Ukraine then? If it's not Ukraine, it's part of Russia. And I think you're going to have a problem because I don't think Russia can tell Ukraine you can't be part of the Eastern Union because we don't want you to be. You can't be part of NATO because we don't want you to be. You can't have nuclear arms to protect yourself, but your enemy, Russia, is allowed to have nuclear arms.
So
was it decided somewhere where I missed it? Did I miss the memo that Ukraine lost the war?
Okay, so here is the land that Russia it looks like it might be keeping. Right now, Russia controls 4% of the Kharkiv region, 73% of, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this name, but Zaporizhia, 73% of that, 99% of the Luhansk region, 69% of the Kherson region, 75% of the Donetsk region. So a good chunk of Ukraine.
Right. But by the same token, what does Ukraine control in Russia?
Nothing. All they control in Russia is the damage they did. And don't get me wrong, they did substantial damage to military bases, to fuel storage tanks, to the damn Russian fleet. I mean, their Russian fleet got nailed.
So Ukraine fixes everything. Ukraine agrees to leave wherever they are in Russia, and then or they agree to give back to Russia.
Ukraine has no boots on the ground in Russia.
Okay.
It's for obvious reasons. But what I read from this, though, it doesn't sound like the European does not appear that the European nations are going to get too much of anything out of it. And they're the ones who were given a shitload of weapons to Ukraine to fight the war.
Right.
And of course, we also get rights to the minerals. So the United States and Russia is going to come out as the winner. Zelensky is going to come out to be the loser. And I'm sorry, I know I'm Republican. I know I back Trump. But I'm sorry, that's a shitload of bullcrap on the Ukrainian people.
Well, you wouldn't approve it. You wouldn't approve it if it was the other way. If it was the Republicans against the Democrats, he wouldn't approve the Democrats just dictating all the terms that they want.
Yeah.
Or the North and the South, with the North saying to the South, hey, you can't join NATO, you can't join the European Union, you can't join this, you can't have nukes down there to defend yourself. What did we do for 20 years? Because that's what I'd be asking. What did I do for 20 years?
Yeah. So what else did I say? I was coming to the show with Russia, Ukraine. Um,
Russia, Ukraine, we did the Salute to Red Friday. It's the last 15 minutes of the broadcast, and anything else you want to
yeah,
bring up.
wow, wow, 45 minutes have gone by. Holy shit.
5 minutes have gone by.
Okay, so
We have to get into practice of doing this
yeah.
again. You need to bring more. You need to bring more with you.
I know.
Yeah,
I mean, I hate winter, but thankfully, my daughter still lives with us, and she shovels the snow.
yeah.
God love her. To be honest with you, I don't. She's 35, 36 years old now, and to be honest, I don't see her moving out at all. Now she does have a boyfriend for like 13 plus odd years, but he is totally against marriage because of what he's seen his grandparents and parents go through with the horrible marriages. So he feels that a marriage is not in the works for him. So, and she's happy with it, you know. So he still lives at home. She lives at home. And thankfully, you know, like I said before, my disability check is more than enough to continue paying the rent. Uh,
Yep.
and you know, my landlord every year he $50 increase. But you know, every year disability, my wife gets a $60 boost. I get a $60 boost. So you know, as long as I'm alive, though, you know, we have the roof over our head, and so will my daughter. Uh,
Well, when you're not alive any longer, it won't matter anymore,
yeah,
will it?
aren't you funny? Uh, So there's a video coming out about UFOs. It's
Okay.
called "The Age of Disclosure." It has a lot of uh, uh, congressional people. It has a lot of, in fact, you know what? Why don't I just play this here? Hold on a second.
Okay.
It's coming out. It is talking about the fact that yes, we've been hiding. Our government has been hiding for many, 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 many years. The truth behind UFOs. Yes, we do have their ships that we shot down, ships that supposedly crashed. I'm sorry, you know, I cannot imagine that these, whatever they are, flying these spacecrafts, fly millions of light years, okay, only to crash on Earth. I'm sorry, I don't buy that story. I think we're shooting them down, and one of these days, and I have to think too. Um, uh, these uh, these aliens they're coming from somewhere, okay, and
Mhm.
uh, they have to know that they sent out X number of ships to this planet, and only an X number of ships came back. Okay, you would think at some point you'd say, "Where the hell's our people?" Hold on, where's the audio? Bum, 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 bum. Where's the damn audio thing at? I can't see it. Where's that? Where's the speaker? There it is. I mean, play it back. Hold on. Hold on. There we go.
does look like a very interesting piece of something you want to watch. The easier cover up of non human intelligent life. And if we are now acknowledging an 80-year cover up, they got some explaining to do. But it does look like you missed the audio button. What I can recommend for people over there is go to YouTube and look up 80-year global cover up of non human intelligent life. And that will bring you to the age of disclosure, which is the video. And you can watch that. It does look like something you want to watch. Plus, we've talked about cover-ups of this magnitude before, and I think we all agree, all of us that are on at one time or another want to learn more. I wake up every morning, and it's upsetting sometimes what gets discovered or what gets covered and what just gets covered up. You know, I don't know who decides on what side. Is there a Republican and a Democrat that meet every day somewhere that decide what just gets covered up, what's going to be a Republican cover up, what's going to be a Democrat cover up?
I think what's going to have to happen is that, some like I was saying earlier, you can't tell me that these aliens can't count. We send 1,000 ships out into the abyss, and we got 50 going to this green blue planet, and only 25 come back. You can't tell me that they're keeping track of the losses. And at some point, they're going to say, you know what? They're killing our people, and they're going to want revenge.
Well, we don't know right now. Again, is it a droid? Is it 50 droids and only 20 of them came back? What that because I don't think they're sacrificing people because
Well,
if they wanted
well,
to,
no, but
if they wanted to, they could just push a button and make the Earth go
but they
away.
said that we are in possession of biological. This means it's not robotic. It's not mechanical.
Okay,
It's if you want to say flesh and blood. But I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I've seen the congressional hearings, and the professional people on the panel that are talking to Congress and showing the videos, especially when it showed that Hell rocket, whatever they call it, that hit that one spacecraft and just bounced off of it, did absolutely no damage to it. And the Congress lady said, should the American people be concerned? And he said, absolutely, we should be concerned. Um, there was, they talked about years back where Russia, several UFOs was flying over this nuclear base in Russia, and they were over this area for hours. And I guess they finally were able to access the computers that controlled the missiles and punched in the right codes. And these codes were to launch missiles to the United States. And Russia was able to shut it down before these missiles actually took off. Um, it-
sounds like they played war games with us, and
it's just a matter of time when these uh, aliens decide, we've lost enough of our ships, or our deal is up. I know Michael Anthony said that I think it was Eisenhower who went and made a deal with the aliens that
yep.
we'll exchange our people for your technology. And supposedly that's why we still have people going missing.
What if those ships that are no longer with us that we blasted out of the sky had people that were coming back,
Yeah. Um,
had served the end of their time wherever they were, and now they were going to come back?
it's I don't know. In a way, and there are some people who are saying that these aliens and these flying saucers are actually fallen angels. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that thought pattern because if they're fallen angels, they don't need a spacecraft to fly in. Okay, um, they have wings; they can fly themselves. Uh,
Well,
but and I'm not, one of these days. There's I think 4 or 5 books of the Bible that was taken out, and from what I
yep,
understand is inside some of those books that are taken out. It talks about aliens and spacecraft.
that's why they were taken out.
Oh yeah, you can't talk about that.
Oh,
No.
the Bible, the Bible proofreader said
Yeah.
no, or
Yeah.
editors said no. I'm sorry, you can't talk about
Yeah.
that.
You just
I don't, I don't know because I have not read the Bible. Maybe, maybe I should, but uh, I don't believe that it is down to a group of people or one person. Well, it is down to one person. The creator has the authority to just push the button and we all go away. I only say that because I believe the creator has done that so many times. But if the creator has to do that every so often, his plan is corrupted somehow. Okay. Why can't the creator just create the perfect world?
well, he did.
Right.
Then
On
Adam.
that note,
But he did. But then Eve, convinced Adam to eat the damn fruit, whatever it is. People say it's an apple. I don't think it's an
yeah,
apple, but he ate the fruit, and now all of a sudden, now they have the
free will.
free will. They're just like gods, and that's not what God wanted. Um,
So why can't God just blow it up and then create it again and not
well,
allow the
he's going
people
to. I mean,
to eat
that's what the whole rap. That's
life?
what the whole rapture and the whole and the world scenario is supposed to be. Is this the planet being destroyed and a new one being created? And
No,
then
I don't buy any of that. Or I don't. I try not to buy into any
I
of
mean,
that. That
obviously, none of us are going to know until we're dead. I mean, I have been toying with the idea of doing broadcasts about ghosts and spirits and so forth, and I know that Michael has a lot of information about that. But you see these videos, and purportedly to be supposed to be true, of how these you can see the spirit rising out of the dead people and going off, or you can see ghosts, spirits who are stuck here on Earth and so forth. And I believe in because I have personal experience with my mom. Thankfully, she hasn't talked to me in quite some time, so she must finally settled out. But for a while there, my mom's voice was very clear, calling out my name, smelling her perfume, gasping at the cigarette smoke. Um, and that wasn't just a 1 or 2 or 3 years after she passed away. It was a long time, many years after the fact. Um,
maybe she finally got through, like you said. Sylvia Brown used to say the ones that were stuck here or stuck at a certain place haven't yet come to grips with the fact that they died
yeah,
somehow and uh, and haven't just crossed over. Uh,
they claim like with Gettysburg, the claim is that as a Christian, if when you die very peacefully and your spirit goes up. But if you're not a believer, or if you die in a very horrific, oh my God kind of scenario where you weren't expecting to die, your spirit gets stuck here because it doesn't
but
know
if,
you just know
but
the body died.
but my question to that is, what gives the Christians the right to decide that if you're not a Christian, this is what's going to happen to you? because my people can show you that we were all here before the Christians came along. It's like Jesus. The biggest thing that bothers me about this whole saving thing is that is the phrase or whatever you want to call it. If you want to talk to my father, you go through me first. Well, we were talking to the man you call your father long before your father even created you. So, you know, religion is one of those things that, like I said, I don't like. I don't like to do it only because I end up being the token Jew when I should be the token Jew to listen to the rest of you try to explain to me what this should be. But
Yeah.
anyway, we have
Yep.
3 minutes left, so why don't you tell people what is coming up Tuesday or where you will be before that,
Hmm.
if you want.
Yeah. Well, first off, two of my last night we had our very first Fire Eaters broadcast. Was going to be a total of 10 people, which I was very impressed with. But one had was spending Thanksgiving at her, I think her father's house, so she obviously wasn't there. Uh, the second guy, the guy who wrote the 6 books, he had uh, almost came down with pneumonia. He was actually in the hospital. And then
Ouch.
a third person, his fiance fell and broke her hip. So it went from 10 down to 7. But and then 2 didn't show up. So we had 5, but plus
Okay,
myself. But it went very well. It was an hour long.
good.
We talked about what's going on with the South, and uh, you know, all I'm going to say is that uh, tie yourself down because the South is going to rise again, and there's some shit coming that I wasn't aware of, but I am now. So, and I made the mistake. I made 2 mistakes. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. First off, I didn't set the video of it to public, so I did change that so people can watch it again today. So I'm sharing it back out today. So it was so the video is only limited to friends. So I got that fixed, but when the
Okay.
broadcast ended, when the broadcast ended, I simply logged out of my EV Mux. I didn't end the broadcast. So I'm walking away. Thankfully, my camera wasn't turned on. I reached out to a friend and he said, "Do you realize you're still showing us live?" I said, "No." So I quick ran, turned my computer back on, and sure enough, for 10 minutes, you were looking at a stagnant image. Um,
That's all right.
but I'm glad because right after I ended my broadcast, I got ready for bed. So I'm walking on my underwear. I'm thinking, thank God
Oh,
my
good.
camera wasn't turned on because I was
Yes.
ready to start doing delete, 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 delete. But we learned. But it went very well.
Good.
There was no crashes. We did have one guy. There was a major storm going through the south, and he was having problems making keeping connection. But overall, it was good. Uh,
Good.
what happened again as far as that many, I don't know. So come Tuesday, we were going to start having this a regular broadcast, but until everyone's back on track with Thanksgiving being sick, it may be a while before we don't have a live broadcast. But they're coming. They're coming. And just like I said, watch out for the South because there's some things the South is going to be doing, and the world is going to know about it soon.
The thing I've noticed is you just have to throw the door open, tell the people where you're going to be, what you're going to be
Yeah.
doing,
So
and the ones that come, you do it with them, and the ones
yeah.
that don't,
You
you
know,
don't.
right now, as far as my genealogy, I am booked. I got more
Good.
than enough to keep me busy, and I don't want to take on too many because then I start having poor service to those who were here, and that I
Yeah.
don't want to do. I do. One of my clients, she's General Alex Wissonet. He has a 7-year-old son, and I don't know why, but maybe it's showing my age. But I said to him, I said, do you guys teach your son about Santa Claus? Because they're from the South, so I wasn't sure. And he said, yeah, we teach about Santa Claus. I said, hey, do me a favor. When he writes his list of Santa Claus, can you send me a couple ideas of what he wants so I can buy him and send it to him. So like, hey, look, Santa Claus got me, So that's what he's going to do. It's just good old fun. And I gotta jump off. You guys take care.
All right, Randy. Okay.
There we go.
I appreciate you coming by. Next Monday we'll do it again.
And this time I will log out.
Oh, no, I'm going to log you out anyway. So, all right. Even if you stayed, I would have logged you out because I don't want anybody to watch what goes on behind the scenes because it's not always as fun as you want to see. Anyway, we're here Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And I keep saying 7 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday is open. It won't be both. I don't think it will be both. It might be one week, one the next week. I don't really know. That's always open. And a rare Saturday morning, Boogie with the Bull is still open on a rare Saturday at 10 a.m. So there's always plenty of time to Boogie with the Bull. And as I had said, if you don't find a time that fits into you, then you come and talk to me about what you want to do. And odds are we might do it with you. Either make it work for you or we'll make it work for both of us. Anyway, I just like to make it work. I just like to do broadcasts. So, and they don't have to be all political. We talk about political, mishmash political, and sometimes it could be about something else, anything else. Why Ford got rid of Lincoln Mercury, and before they did, why they got rid of the town car. Anyway, I don't believe they didn't get rid of Lincoln Mercury, but they didn't get rid of the town car. That was the demise of several businesses. But anyway, I'm David Goldman. You're not. Double V is this Boogie with the Bull has hit the wall. We have done what we wanted to do. We'll podcast it to a lot of groups on the Facebook side, and it is on the YouTube side on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. So go watch over there and take the link and share it with your friends. And on the Facebook side, just share it with your friends. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. And either way, let me know what you liked or what you didn't like about the broadcasting. We will try to do it better the next time. So until the next time.